We're going to survive and we're going to get justice. Amen.
A blessing before a long march to demand change. In 1965, Martin Luther King Jr. led a march from Selma to Montgomery that led to federal legislation on equal voting rights. In 2014, civil rights activists hope their 193-kilometer, 7-day march from the site of the police killing of unarmed teenager Michael Brown in Ferguson to the governor of Missouri's mansion will also lead to a change in the law.
Looking for legislation to end racial profiling. There's a bill called the End the Racial Profiling Act that we're looking to pass. Putting body cameras on police officers.
It's an ambitious goal, particularly as polls consistently show a majority of white people in the US don't know what all the fuss is about. But don't you get the sense sometimes that actually for white communities, affluent communities, this is kind of what they want? They do want to keep black communities restricted.
Well, here's the question I would pose. How good has this Michael Brown tragedy been for business in the greater St. Louis area? It cannot be reasonably argued that children losing their lives as a consequence of the most underwhelmingly minor of offenses is good for anybody.
Later in the afternoon, a meeting has been convened, bringing together the numerous activist groups that have come together since Michael Brown's death. The question that's been tabled: where do we go next?
We need to keep the motivation and know that we have a...
Someone well placed to map out a strategy is the Reverend Dr. William Barber. He's mobilized a mass movement for social justice in North Carolina, now in its 75th week of protests.
I just met a young lady in the hotel who said she was with Greenpeace, but she was so glad that environmentalists were able to hook up with civil rights actors and understand the intersectionality of our issues. Those who are attempting to deny health care, those who are attacking minimum wages, those who are attacking women's rights and LGBT rights and immigrants' rights. What you are hearing in America now with all of these different movements is prophetic mourning.
For Barber, it's the universality of the activist struggle that will make the difference.
Yesterday on the plane, a lady said, "We're landing in St. Louis. I wonder, do we have to go through Ferguson?" With fear. I turned around and said to her, yes, because Ferguson is not just in Missouri. Every city you go through has some element of Ferguson.
Shihab, Rattansi, Al Jazeera, St. Louis.